Today I'm going to be talking about the new album by The Warning. The name of the album is Keep Me Fed. This is a band that's been getting a lot of buzz lately. I'll give you a quick history of the band, then I'll get into the album.
The band consists of three sisters from Monterrey, Mexico named Dany, Pau, and Ale Villareal Vélez. You may remember them for their cover of Enter Sandman that was on the most recent covers album by Metallica called The Blacklist. Or maybe you have seen them live as they have opened for some big name acts in recent years. This band has been playing for about 10 years now. They wrote this new album while on the road for their last tour.
It's one of those bands that's somewhere in the middle of being a rock band and a metal band. In my personal opinion, they remind me of a mix of Halestorm, Paramore, and Muse, the latter of which they went out on the road with. They spent a few weeks in Los Angeles to prepare for this album. According to the band, they didn't have a lot of time to complete it as they had a hectic schedule. When it came time to record the album, they decided to do it in Monterrey, Mexico, which is where they're from, meaning that they could live at their own home while the recording process was underway. Also keep in mind that they were doing this band since they were teenagers, and they're currently in their late teens and early 20s. They were also able to find a producer who was willing to stay in Mexico while the recording process was underway. They chose Anton De Lost and Dan Lancaster because they were the two who were willing to move to Mexico for that time. Let me also say I'm fairly new to this band. I've seen a lot of other channels do videos on them. Had a lot of people recommend them to me. The only song I knew was the Metallica cover of Enter Sandman. I decided to do a deep dive into their albums the day before the release. I enjoy their music. Songs are very emotional. Sometimes they can get heavy, but most of the time they're just well-written rock songs. Most of the songs are in English. They have a few in Spanish. There was one single in Spanish called ¿Qué más quieres? And that means what else do you want? The album has 12 songs. Let's just get right into this. I'll give you my thoughts on each song and get into some of the meanings behind them. The opening track is called 6 Feet Deep. This one caught me by surprise because I thought the opening guitar riff was kind of heavy. One thing that makes this band recognizable is the guitar tone. It's almost that tone that metalcore bands use, but it sounds a little electronic as well. I also like the funky bass guitar during the verse sections. It also has a very distinctive tone. They have some groovy guitar riffs during the verse sections as well. The vocals are very melodic. As I've said before, the vocals reminded me a lot of that band Paramore. I was listening to this band yesterday and that kind of put the song Misery Business in my head for a while afterwards. The next song is called Sick. This was one of the singles. I had already heard the song before. This one also has a very distinctive guitar tone and a very powerful drum beat. I think the guitar tone is what makes this band stand out. The song also has a very angry and rebellious attitude. The song is about someone who is very bored and unmotivated with life, so they would rather feel sick and live in regret. It's about experiencing monotony that's rotting their life away. The music video contains some symbolism. The fly represents decay. They kill the fly near the end because they don't want to continue rotting away. I thought it was a catchy song, especially when they sing this line, give me violence, kill the silence. Then there was a song, Apologize. This was one of the album tracks. I thought this was a good song. It's a hard rocker with a driving rhythm and a drum beat. They also mix it up a little, going softer and then harder, and I mean really harder. The song has this heavy breakdown, similar to what metalcore bands do. The song's a mix of those heavy guitar riffs, some of that mid-2000s rock, something along the lines of Avril Lavigne, that type of sound. Now it's time for the single, ¿Qué más quieres? Another one of the really great songs. Let me read a quote by Paulina on the meaning behind the song. The title translates to, what else do you want? It's about taunting and manipulating. We were thinking of the TikTok phrase, gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, and turned it into a song. So they had a music video, plays out like a movie which involves a crime story, a wedding, and a mob. The music video also shows cards from this Mexican game called La Loteria, which is basically their version of bingo. The cards are very iconic and each of them has a different symbol on them. Song is about a toxic relationship where one person is gaslighting the other, which means they manipulate them to the point where they question their own sanity. And there's another channel on YouTube called Psychology of Rock, and she did a few videos on this song and on this band. I recommend you check out that channel because I took a lot of this information from that channel. Now to the next song, More. It's another one of the singles. It's about the push and pull that exists in relationships, how you want more out of life, hence the title of the song. I was able to listen to the song a few times before the album was released. It reminded me a lot of the band Muse. I think it has that distinctive guitar sound, makes me think of the band. They also get pretty heavy on this one as well. I like the funky rhythm that the song has and how it mixes some modern electronic pop sounds with some heavier moments. After the song, the album continues with 4 more album cuts. So let's talk about those. Next song is called Escapism. I thought it was one of the more popular sounding songs. Don't get me wrong, this will have this heavy guitar sound in this one, but I think they wanted to dial it back a little on this. It's interesting they didn't release this as a single because it sounded like one of the more radio-friendly songs. But don't get me wrong, this will have those signature guitar riffs in the second half of the song. Nonetheless, I like this one. It's a very catchy song. Also has that fuzzy guitar sound, so I like that aspect of it. Satisfied is another hard rocker. This one also has that awesome guitar and bass sound that I've been talking about throughout this review. Burnout was another cool song. I thought this one had more of a pop and commercial sound. Not a bad thing. I thought it was very catchy. The guitars had this very futuristic and robotic type of sound. Same can be said for the bass guitar. Sound is very unique and also very representative of the sound on this album. Sharks is probably the heavy song on the album. This one sounded like something you would hear on a typical metalcore album. It's had this faster rhythm, a heavier guitar sound. I thought it was a good one. Had that thick bass guitar sound, and that can be heard throughout the album. But it was also a catchy song with elements of pop music as well. Some of that electronica, similar to a band, like I was saying before, Muse. Hell We Call a Dream was one of the first songs they played live from the new album. They played it live back in October of 2023 when they played in Guadalajara, Mexico. Songs about everything musicians feel when they're on the road. It's about doing something you love. At the same time, it's something that burns you out. Something that's exciting, but also tiring. I like the song. It has more of a commercial sound, but has that thick bass sound. And I like the vocals. They sound very good on this track. Consume is the second to last song. This one was slower, more electronic. I thought it sounded kind of commercial, but it had a lot of attitude in the lyrics. The song is somewhat of an angry tone. Only the thing I noticed was they were using some swear words, and it was the only song I noticed where they used that. There may have been others I didn't notice, but the best part of the song was the instrumental section towards the second half of the song. The melody sounded a little familiar, but I don't remember where it was from. And the last song is called Automatic Sun, another one of the singles. It was one of those songs that came to them spontaneously. The idea behind an automatic sun is a person who enters the room and lights up the room with their personality. Thought it was another one of the heavy songs that had an almost industrial metal sound with the electronic sounding guitars and bass. Was a very melodic song and it was very catchy. In conclusion, I thought it was very good. I've not spent a lot of time listening to this band. I only started to do a deep dive into their music yesterday, but they only have a few albums, so I was able to listen to everything. I thought this album had a very thick sound in the guitars and bass with electronic elements in the song, but at the same time, the songs were just well-crafted pop songs. So this band can appeal to the casual fan of pop music or someone who likes heavier music, like most of the people who watch this channel. My score is an 8.5 out of 10. I think it may be their best album, and maybe they are headed for superstardom. Maybe one day they will be as big as Metallica. So that is all. Check out this video right here. I talk about the latest album by Bon Jovi. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you will never miss an update. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think or what you'd like to see next. You may also follow me on Facebook and TikTok for more content. Thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next video.